It's been a while. John, you
John,
can sit
sit
right
here.
there. We all yelled at you at the same
Yeah.
time. Right here? Yeah. We appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We got a few things to take care of and regular committee business that we'll get to at the end. But I'm assuming everybody's here from the soccer club, so thank you for coming.
Yeah, my coaches,
Some of them, but we appreciate everybody coming out. As you know, we met probably a year ago and asked for some, some things to change and see some things how we want to handle. And it wasn't just the soccer club; it was all the sports league have come before us over the year. We've asked them for the same exact things. And we're going to implement some more changes going forward and require some different things from all the leagues as they come in. What brought this on was a couple things. We have been contacted by a few parents. I did include the email solely because you asked me to include the email in that. I wouldn't have made that public if you hadn't asked for that.
Well, I went to meet, that way I could address.
Right. And then also, and just being right up front, we did receive a few phone calls and some other face-to-face conversations about concerns parents had with the league. And also, so when we addressed those amongst ourselves and amongst our group, we thought it was best to bring everybody together. And also because at the last meeting a year ago, we did ask for some specific steps to be taken to ensure the continuity of the league and that things were being done the way this committee and the way the city wanted things to be done while any organization is using city property. So with that said, do you have anything you want to, I'll let you take the floor, I don't know if you want to introduce the people who are here with you.
Well, this is Lucy. She's the head of our mites. She oversees all that. Besides that, she coaches 2 other teams. You have Sam, she coaches 2 teams. You, 10 and 6. Annie's one of the board members also for the parents. She's a coach. Monica does U8, U10 coach. Dan is one of our other coaches. AJ in the back does the higher kids, and he also takes care of the maintenance on the field.
So thank you all for coming. And let me preface everything that, is going on here tonight is anybody who volunteers their time should be commended because, as somebody who went through it with all my kids, we've, all have kids that have played sports and volunteered. So this is not, pointing fingers at anybody. We just want to make things better for everybody going forward.
Okay, so going forward, I did read your email. Soccer season has not started later and later and later. It starts same time in May. Okay, always does. I did bring our rule of conduct. I did tell Michelle the only thing I did forget, because I am still sick, was the minutes, and I could drop them off. This is the code of Amsterdam Soccer Constitution and bylaws. This has never been updated since 1996. But I have somebody that's going to go through it and update it with me, which we should have it by the end of the thing. But you're more than welcome to keep this copy.
So we did want a copy of that. And, and like you said, it hasn't been updated since 1996, and that's why we want to,
so we're going to
get in front of it and make sure we're all on the same page. All the leagues have bylaws, all the leagues have budgets, elections, and everything like that. And so
I never really read that until some of it today.
Okay.
To update everybody, Liz Ackerman has resigned January 1st. So March 2nd, because you need 30 days, we're going to hold a meeting probably at Panera for the public and for us to vote people in. Lori Graff, she cannot be the secretary no more, so that position is going to be open.
When are you having the meeting?
March 2nd at Panera.
So that's one of the things I want to address, and being you brought it up, and anybody
can come. I'm going to make it public now.
So we're going to have a format, and anybody on the commission who has comments, questions, just jump in. Don't wait for me to pause or anything. Just jump right in. But all right. So if we're starting with elections, so I would assume, and I don't have your bylaws, I haven't read them. We did ask you for them a couple weeks ago, though.
No, they're there.
No, I know
I
that,
know.
what I'm saying. Because I just wanted to familiarize myself. I'm assuming elections are held every 2 years.
I didn't go through all of it. I don't know how they did
So,
it.
and I can't speak to that. But I know they have not been held in a,
Oh, elections haven't been holding forever.
right, that's what I'm saying. So when we leave here tonight, all right, let me backtrack a second. So your coaches who are in place,
Mhm.
and again, I wanted to read this before we got here so we could actually go by your bylaws. I would assume your coaches who are in place will be the body that votes on who all of your officers are and all of your board members are.
Also, I mean, we're up for anybody to join us. It's
So,
not like we don't want nobody there, the more the
You
merrier.
can join us, Rob, if you want.
They were telling us, like, in this email about the fields, I have pictures of Tim Jones and AJ literally digging out boulders out of the field. So where they say the conditions aren't good,
Well,
there's
conditions
nothing
are-
that we can
conditions
do
are
about
crap.
it.
You can't water the field.
right, so,
I was told literally, somebody told me, oh, just run a fire hose to the fire.
So, all right, I'll just say this real quick, just to address that, and then we'll get back to her.
Okay.
Anytime you need water for the field, you just call me and we will have the hoses and fire hydrant, the hoses right from our building, everything will be set
If
up
we could have it like every week.
immediately. So
maybe
it's
on
not,
Sunday.
that's not a concern we have to even worry
The-
about. They
The
cross that
lighting-
off the list of things. So let's just get back to elections.
Well, this is all on this.
So, elections, when we leave here tonight,
Mhm.
we would, or by, in the next day or two, I'll read through this. You prepare, a slate of positions
Okay,
that the board needs elected from, again, I'm assuming there's a president, there's a treasurer,
there's the president, vice president, there's, travel. A vice president of travel. There is the secretary, and then we have Annie as the parent and the sponsor. And,
so you come up with your slate, I'll compare it to our notes,
okay,
and we'll set an election date, time. We'll help you, I mean, if you want us to help you, we'll help
You
you
can help me
create
all
the
you want.
ballots, and everything's, above board. And again, we have a whole, we're doing this with every organization. So I just want to make it clear.
I didn't say you were sick.
No. I just want to be clear. It's not, you just happen to be first in line,
Thank
and,
you. I like you first anyway.
because we already had you scheduled.
Yeah, and I would say also, like, we've helped, there was a league prior that had an issue with nominations. Because normally before you have an election, you have to nominate somebody, you have to accept it,
Well, I do know it has to become public knowledge, so
Right,
I
so
will
people
put that
know.
out there.
and they'll talk amongst the people that are considering it. Because we had another league that had they wanted to nominate someone that, we told them that they could not, basically.
Okay.
So with that, that's why I said I wanted to read their bylaws ahead of time. So I don't know if we should have a meeting, but like I said, we just really need to read through that. Whether, we have a nominating process at one meeting, and then the elections
We can do
shortly
that too,
after that.
whatever you think, because that's new to me.
And what we did was, we have something written up in the minutes for after we're done, where we will do the publicizing, we will make sure it's in the recorder or the Gazette, I'm sorry. And make sure that everything is out to the public. Nobody's gonna come back and say, oh geez, it's the same business as usual. Great to get new people in, even if they don't win the election, they may have ideas and, be able to present things that are beneficial to everybody.
But they
And I'll
said-
just use Jessie as the example. I know she's interested in becoming involved in everything.
Jesse,
She was kind enough to come into City Hall and spend some time with us and share her thoughts and ideas on making changes. So we want to get people involved.
the more the merrier. It makes things run
And that's
better.
right. And the best way to do that is to present it to the public, and let everybody come forward, present their ideas. And it's not a,
A witch hunt?
no, not that. It's not a us versus them.
No, I
It's,
understand.
like, our society is.
Well,
It's,
everybody
we're
should
all
be
on the same
Well,
page.
it's for the
And,
kids.
and we want to make
It's always
things,
You know, and
about the kids.
that's what it's about.
I did
and
get your email though about that AED. I did send a letter out to St. Mary's Hospital, and I have a copy that you can see to see if they wanted to donate one to us. And somebody else sent me to the Ladies Auxiliary and Nathan, up in Nathan Return.
so just for the members, and it's in our packet here, New York State, and I'm sure John knows this, you have to have any youth, activities that are going on,
Mm-hmm.
by a league that has 4 or more teams, I think it was. You have to have an AED present on site during the activity. Per the state, we're not required to monitor it, but we're required to inform everybody that uses our facilities that you are required to have it. So that's one of the things in our packet that we'll be talking about a little later on. While we're talking about elections, does anybody have any questions or comments before we move on to something
I
else?
do, if I can talk now. Okay. I actually feel like it would be beneficial for people that have the league to have a guide from the city that says, these are the positions that you have to have in order to run a league. So not just leaving it up to them to say like, who do you want, like what kind of positions do you want to have held? I think that they need to almost be told what positions they have to have in order for them to have nominations and votes.
I am very comfortable telling people what to do. But, and I say this, all kidding aside, so what we want to do is follow everybody's bylaws, because they've been in place prior to all of us, and they'll be in existence after all of, if you're in the league, your kids are gone, or if, we're retired. So I would say we follow the bylaws, but your idea, I like your idea and the premise involved of everybody working together and saying, this is what works best. Let's amend the bylaws to say this. And then there's a whole process for amending the bylaws. It's the same thing. Call a
You
vote,
have to
probably
vote.
60 days or 30 days notice. All coaches are present. We're putting up a proposal to amend the bylaws. We're eliminating this position and that position, but we want to add social media coordinator, like your ideas, registration, where all the leagues are on the same page. So that would be how
I think consistency would be good across
Right.
leagues.
That's
Yeah,
one
like
of
you
the
were saying.
things,
Well,
Jesse.
also, I think that people that are volunteering don't always know the right things to do, so they're almost like scrambling, trying to come up with stuff, when really it's the recreation departments, they have to set the standard. This is the standard that every league is going to go by, and that's what we're going to follow.
I think that's our goal right now and what we're talking about. And I would just mention that the league, should have many meeting minutes, budgets, from every year budget, every meeting's in a binder where you can go back and you write notes that say, hey, these are the notes from the meeting. That's what the secretary should do. We changed the bylaws on October 10th, 2025. We held a vote. The vote was 10-0, and this is, and then the bylaws are updated. So that's an ideal thing. We would hope, and going forward, we're going to encourage, everybody to do this and report to us every 3 months. We're going to have binders for every league, and we'll note what they've done, what they haven't done, and we'll, call them out and say, hey, you haven't sent us X, Y, and Z from, what was required in March or, whatever it is. So that's, I 100% agree with you.
And I agree with you too. I'm here to state my opinion.
So we just gotta, we just have to do it the right way with working within the league's bylaws. And I think, just like Kelly just said, the continuity, and that's what Jesse was talking about too, where maybe we can get all 4 leagues together and say, why don't we all use the same registration site? Why don't we all use, where everybody's officers and names are listed? And, this is, and on that, it would include the city contacts where we're all working together instead of, all going in different directions. So I think I've talked a lot. Anybody else, please jump in.
The only thing is Joe can send me like a website. I know that we're supposed to, you guys want background check.
So that's, I was gonna go over that.
Mike and Sonia, I wrote him last year and he said he had a perfect site and he never texted me back. So if
Okay.
you can give me a good site, I have no problem with that. Who are
To
we
explain
doing?
that, they
Like-
get it, so the Amsterdam Little League is affiliated with the Little League Baseball of America, a national group. So they pay a membership fee to Little League Baseball of America, and through a vendor that they provide, they get those back, like
Oh, then I could just go through soccer then.
if there's, yeah, what is the name of that umbrella?
Yeah. CDYL is up here, US
I'm gonna
Soccer.
say it's probably US Soccer.
Are
That's-
you guys already a member to that? or-
CDYL, we always
Yeah.
have.
No, USA Soccer.
USA Soccer, I do believe we are, but if not, I'll check.
So, and again, just using baseball as the example that Chief just mentioned. So when they sign up through Little League, they follow Little League rules and guidelines, which kind of, they morphed with their bylaws, with the Little League bylaws. So Little League says, you can take players from here, this is how you register, your coaches have to take these background checks. So it does a lot of the work for you.
Mhm.
For the, right, I don't know, Joe, do you know what the fee is? It's not much, I don't think. You know,
I know
it's a
I
couple
was at wanting
$100.
to do 1 to 50 people, they wanted like $269.
Yeah, sounds
So that's not bad at
So
all.
all that is provided for you. So when we'll set up elections, right, for, whatever date works for you.
Well, I have to work for you guys.
We'll first have a meeting, we can have it right here if you want, where we have
Okay,
the first meeting of the year, the Amsterdam Youth Soccer Club meeting. And we'll put out on social media, we'll put it in the paper, all interested,
You can do press release.
we have press release, potential coaches, people who want to run for these 9 positions, please come to the first meeting. I'm just spitballing, everybody who wants to, is nominated, can say a few words, and we'll set an election date.
Doesn't every position is up?
Yeah, every position is up.
Yeah.
So,
that'll
and
work.
then at that meeting, and we'll go over this tonight just quickly, because a lot of this is gonna be, talked about during elections. But our concerns that have been raised, from the past year or so, and a lot of the things that we talked about at the last meeting, I don't think they've been addressed properly. And budgeting, you know what I mean? I don't know if a budget's been passed. I don't know if we asked for a copy of a budget.
You did ask for what we made in that, and I did give you that. But we don't do what like Little John, the sports do. Our goes, and I can make a budget for you. Whatever we take in, okay, like last year we made 36,000 some odd dollars. Anything we make goes back to the league. So do you understand, like our sponsorships and what they pay us, that goes for the uniforms, that goes for the porta potties that we pay, like up there to have bathrooms.
But
That
that's
takes
why
care.
you need a budget. You need to
Well, I
itemize.
can.
Well, no, it isn't,
that.
I can, that's
I
gotta be
know how to do
your
that.
planning document has gotta be, how much money do I need to run this league? And the only way you're gonna know that is to know what your expenses are.
About 40.
Well, no, I know you can say it in your head, but not just you, because you need help as well. Everybody should know, every team should know. There's gotta be a system set up so that it's not in your head, it's on a piece of paper that everyone can share and everybody can look at, so that if somebody questions you, you can say, well, and every month or every time you meet, you should be going over how much you spent and how far you are in terms of how you're doing with your budget. And I know it's a volunteer group, but that's why you need a system, and that's why you need volunteers to help you, because every league that's ever gotten into trouble in our city has gotten into our trouble because they don't follow their budget. They don't have a budget, a strong budget. And that's really the first step, is you really need to write down what your expenses are and what the revenues you need to make those expenses.
Okay.
It's critical.
Can I actually comment on that? So some people, like you guys work in City Hall, you're used to using Excel spreadsheets and all kinds of things, tools. Not everyone's used to
Right.
those kind of tools. So is there a way that you guys could set up something, hand it over, and then they can fill in the blanks?
I believe we could.
I just think that
Again,
that would be
but
beneficial for every.
How is it being recorded now? Like, do you have a book where it says, hey, here's all my income, here's a list of all my receipts written down, itemized,
Oh, I have all the receipts, yeah.
but is it all written down and so you can open it up and say, hey, right off the top, we spent $3,400 on uniforms,
No, they're actually just in a folder.
but
Quickens
just
does-
receipts?
With receipts we have, but Quickens does everything for us.
So you could print out a spreadsheet saying, hey, here's the list
Yeah,
of
because it tells you what
registration
we-
money, sponsor
miscellaneous-
money, totals.
Yeah,
Could we get a copy of that?
yeah.
So we
That's
can
for
kind of see
Quicken.
where to
That's
start
what
and
they've
then,
always used.
and then where to help you
Well, Quicken can
And
probably
help
give
you
you your own budget. like,
formulate
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
it'll formulate a budget for
But it
you,
doesn't, it takes like, what we got,
what your history's
what we
been.
took in,
Yeah,
what we paid out.
yeah.
Right, that's the start of your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And that's
where
for like, that's
you
what we
take
use
all
too
your
for our
expenses
taxes,
and all
so
your
every-
revenues. That's
they have to
just
know,
list
okay,
them.
this is what we
And then
paid.
you put them in a category if you want, but that's all, that's what, you have to start with that.
I do think that's
Everything
something
you
that we
spent,
as a
everything you
commission
make.
can
Yeah, because
assist
it's
and
broken down
support.
like miscellaneous, like,
Yeah,
like the porta potties, everything is
Right.
broken down
Right,
that we pay out.
Exactly.
And we will always help anybody. So, like Jesse, if somebody came to us and said, hey, we want to help prepare a budget, and you guys,
Right.
of course, we would get together anytime.
Okay.
With any help regarding anything.
I'm
with the
always
league.
open to ideas because I love the league and I like the kids. I mean, you don't get 400 kids in the spring from having rotten people, you know what I mean?
No,
And that's what we
absolutely,
have. And then,
absolutely.
you have about this year we had 290 for fall, so that was amazing. Travel is a whole different entity. Like the travel teams, what happens with that, they give us their shirt sizes. All we do is order their shirts. They pay Abrams. To be honest, we don't make nothing off of them. We
So
just,
the league does not pay AFRMs directly whatsoever,
the parents will.
the parents do.
That, and I can get Abrams spreadsheets from Tom. And it's broken down by like, first session's already
So-
done.
So, just being this come up, so the only thing that, as far as travel goes, playing at AFRMs, that really doesn't have anything to do with us.
No, with you guys, I
So,
don't.
but the only thing I would say, as far as that goes, is I would have different accounts and not use the same checking account or any account
So
for.
just open another checking account
Yeah,
for travel.
one is, if you're a pass-through for money, or if there's any funds separate from travel, I would keep it separate, in a travel account, and the rec house account, I would keep separate.
Yeah, because they.
So you're not
always said
using one set of
account.
money to, and I know that's I know that's how Little League requires their bookkeeping. Because a lot of people do some people do Little League and Cal Ripken baseball. Some people do Little League and travel baseball. And I know the requirement is to keep the funds separate and keep the
Yeah, because we have
bookkeeping
a lot of
separate.
kids that play.
So that's,
How many kids do
that-
you have that play travel, that play rec?
You have 4, you have 5 teams.
We have 5 teams and the majority of those kids also play rec. Like Mr. Mizek, his daughter Ruby, she plays rec, fall, and travel.
so as long as we're on the same page with elections, and we'll look over the bylaws, and you get us a slate at some point this week of positions that we will be voting on, we'll coordinate, make sure it's, the same, and we're all on the same page.
Okay.
You can give us a date that works for you. I'll
You said
attend.
30 days, so.
No, I mean, first we'll have a meeting
Oh,
in the
okay.
very near future here that says, if you are interested in running for position, come so you can be nominated. And I'd also like to tell everybody what's expected of them
Mhm.
from the Recreation Commission and from the city. Because I want to present everybody so they know if you are the treasurer, we need a budget, we need quarterly reports, we need bank statements every 3 months. I just want so, and the secretary, I want the secretary to know, we need minutes, we need dates of meetings, we need your bylaws, updated regularly. Who's keeping track of your background checks, and all the certifications are, kept on file, and you're gonna let us know that every coach and every volunteer's background checks are done.
I do have a question though, with CPR and AED, you have to be certified.
You do.
I'm already certified. I know a bunch of these guys are
Yep.
because they're teachers. Monica works for the Center of Disability. Does everybody or just a certain amount of people?
It says in the paperwork I sent you, it said there just needs to be, and it's not even a hard line needs to be. It says within reason, it said one person in your organization needs to be
Oh, then
trained.
we have more than enough.
Is that what it's?
Well, I mean, but the reality is, if you have an AED, you need somebody there trained to utilize it, so,
I'm cited all
She
the time.
is.
right, so you would have to be the individual who's there if there
I'm
were a
on the
cardiac
field
event.
from 8 a.m. until we're done all day.
That's all I'm saying. You gotta make sure that there's somebody
Well,
there
she's
to
there all day.
utilize it, so.
But thank you.
Yeah. Best
I mean, I
practice
would
would
maybe
be
have somebody,
a coach.
Yeah.
Either a
Not
coach
just
or an
one
assistant
person.
coach, that way
So-
everything's covered.
It may be something where we set up, I mean, it is, I don't know what the cost is to be trained on an AED.
It's $42 basically for every 2 years to maintain your certification through the American Red Cross.
And you
Sometimes-
have somebody that does that at school or no?
Yeah, Carla.
Carla?
What doesn't she?
We also have Gabe Lopez, his company does that too.
So, because like if you have 20 coaches, you're talking $840. If we did decide every coach should be trained or something like that, I don't know how, if leagues can absorb that cost or, but that's something we can,
What about just the officers? Make sure an officer's.
is that every game? But you know what I'm saying? It's hard with baseball because baseball's got 3 fields that they use.
We only got 2, so we're good.
Yeah, I know. So and yours are in the same place.
I know we play by a different set of rules, but all of our coaches have to be CPR first aid AED certified.
So I know like
Even
a lot of
even
places
unpaid
are like
coaches.
that. They want everybody certified.
Yeah,
That
we have-
way, if you have so many people that can't make it, there's always
Yeah.
backup to those people.
Right.
On the background checks, now here's another question. My coach is like blue sea. These guys in the back, they've been there for years. Do they still need a background check?
Yeah.
So you want everybody?
Every-
I just
My
want to be,
question.
I just
And-
want to be
and
on the same page.
Chief, correct? Every year.
Yes, every year.
Because I know we do, like I do for the homeless shelter. I have to have a background.
So where I work, I have to have it done every 3 years, so I still have to get it done every year, and I'd have to pay for that because my work pays for mine.
Well,
the
I
league,
work for.
no, you,
the league would pay for it.
Okay.
so that's what I'm saying, like Little League, we know if it's $200 something, the league pays Little League directly, or it's in their,
When we
do you
register
call it?
as a coach, it's like you're doing the same registration as the kid, and then it goes to that, and you click it, and if you give them
Yeah,
permission,
I don't have
and
a
it sends it
problem.
off through the system, so there's not really a step that anyone else needs to.
I just want to know it for my coaches that have done forever.
Yeah. So
But
they
that's
would
fine,
register
too.
through the system as a coach, and then you'd have other information too.
Okay, that's answered.
I had a question back to budget. What bank does the league
We
currently
use KeyBank.
keep in?
And do you guys do your own taxes, or do you have an accountant that does your taxes?
We have, Angie doing our account. She's a tax preparer.
Angie Goris?
Do you guys have a P&L,
She's
like,
down on Division
Yeah,
Street.
Angie Goris,
do
yeah.
you guys have like a year-over-year P&L statement that you can share with us, maybe?
What?
Like a profit and loss,
Yeah,
like
I'll drop it
like
off.
just the main sheet?
I know that,
Maybe over the last, what do you think, 3 years or so? You wanna do that? Just to see how
I can give you
it's
last
going?
year's.
Sure, yeah.
If I can jump in, like while we have like so many coaches and everything, what I'm really interested in learning from these leagues is like, what do you think your league's strengths are? What do you think your weaknesses are? So that we can kind of figure out how we can be supportive and do like the work that is difficult to do, like that maybe some of the admin or what things can we share across
To be honest with
leagues?
you, I think what weakness is,
Yeah,
nobody in the community, you can put it out there, I've talked to other coaches, it's always me, Mr. Jones, and maybe 2 others. We go through the field, we rake up all the rocks, we dig up the rocks, we buy our own, dirt to throw back in, We tamp it ourselves. We can't grow grass because you can't grow grass in concrete because the field is literally concrete. Once it gets over, I say about 80 degrees, that field is hard as a rock. Any coach right here can tell you, it's literally, you're in cleats, but you're running on concrete.
Okay, so field maintenance,
The field, I don't know what else to do. You can, once it rains, it's great.
yeah.
But the minute it dries up, it's done.
What else? Recruiting coaches?
Oh,
you
recruiting
know?
coaches is hard. We always have people that want to coach.
Okay, so you have lots of coaches.
I get 3 or 4 people that want to coach every year.
But I mean, we have a lot of duplicate coaches, so I
Yeah.
would say like, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be coaching 3.
I actually don't mind coaching 3 teams. I don't. I actually enjoy it. I am the crazy one, sorry to say.
Okay,
But I absolutely love coaching my 3 teams that I coach.
alright, so that's not a.
I would say we could use more coaches. We could.
I mean, you can always assistant, things like that,
Sure.
yeah.
Never hurts to have
Sam has
more
an
people.
assistant.
Uh-huh.
I do.
Tim Jones and AJ, they coach together. There are some that don't,
This- I've heard a lot about
but
this.
Lucy
I have
has,
an assistant.
she has an assistant.
Okay.
Some do, some don't. But more coaches would be great.
What else, like lighting?
Yeah.
Okay,
Lighting for the lower field for sure,
Yeah.
especially in the fall.
And that, just the lighting down there, a lot of parents was like, Mr. Spagnola gave us the lighting for the top,
mhm,
which is great. If you just turn it a little more, I think it would even out more of the field, right? No?
Like,
You need a whole other life.
like when we're coaching and we're on, like I coach U15, like when I'm up there during the night games, I can't see this side of the field, but if I'm on the opposite side where the light facing this way, I can see everything perfect.
okay.
So the lighting definitely needs to just be adjusted a little bit
That-
there.
I mean, that light was for the skating rink.
Yeah,
So,
Just
but
saying.
the mayor just mentioned, you know, and as, you know, Kelly's asking the same thing. Once we get, you know, elections over and coaches in place for the upcoming year, we can all work together on coming up with a plan for the, not just the field, but the entire facility where we have a plan of, you know, this needs to go here, this would be great there, and so on. And another light or 2, you know, things like that.
Can I just ask a question? I'd be curious to know if, you're okay, you're okay. How much you think you would benefit from, like coaching courses? Especially for bringing on new
I
people who
believe
sometimes just get thrust into
Listen,
the
if
role
you
because
offer
they're
it, a lot of coaches can use it, because a lot of coaches just get thrown into it.
right.
You got parents that don't know what they're doing, they just jump into it because they want to help their kids.
I mean, the great thing is there are a lot of resources out there. They don't even cost anything through NFHS and other platforms like that. They offer free coaching courses, and I think a lot of them are actually geared toward community-based programs because they recognize, right? Sometimes you just show up at the field on day 1 and they're like, hey, you're the coach, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, there's nobody else. That happened to me. So, and so I think that happens a lot, right? You know, after you've been given the opportunity to kind of get settled and do it for 2 or 3 years, you develop a comfort level. But one of the things that we've talked about too with the school programming is having more of a relationship. Hopefully I'm not, I know Tim Jones is obviously one of my coaches as
I
well.
love
So,
Jonesy.
yeah, no, Jonesy's great. But, you know, we've talked about the need to have a little bit more even alignment, right? Because eventually these kids end up in the high school.
They all come to you.
Right, so they're all eventually going to be up with us, and just having more alignment between, you know, the varsity programs and, you know, and all the way down to the youth programs, so we're all teaching the same principles, philosophies,
Yeah.
et cetera. So by the time they get into the modified programming, this is not new to them.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we do in Amsterdam, so I was curious if, like I said, how many, if you've taken coaching courses in the past, and this is something that you've been able to do or been offered or sought them out on your own, because there are those resources out there.
Well, and I think it would be good for all the leagues to have a coaching course too, all the youth sports leagues.
I was gonna bring that up today.
So, we talked about that earlier today with Jesse, and there's, you know, I didn't even know there were free resources to do this.
Oh, yeah.
But we all think that's a great idea,
Just
and, you know.
because the teams are not there right now. So basically, there's some coaches that know nothing, and then some coaches like Tim Jones that know everything. So a lot of people that want their kid to succeed at the sport will request the coach that knows more, which means that team is stacked. And then they're against a team that barely has enough players to function. So I feel like that needs to be looked at within the league, but also like guidance from you guys to tell people that that's what needs to happen, I think is what is needed.
I understand that, but if you get a parent that
We did.
requests you, I want my
So
kid with that person, how do you tell that parent no?
You say
You
no,
just say
because
no.
law.
You
It's in
say
the-
no.
it's in the bylaws, yeah.
You say no to requesting a certain coach, period.
I think that
That's
maybe
That's
request
it. Hard
would
line.
be if it's your child or if that person is related to somebody else in.
So that would be something that you would have to take off now.
With that being said, like, I mean, you can, if anyone that's played soccer for any amount of years knows which ones are the good kids. So we all know. So if you look at the teams, they're all on the same teams because they're all requesting to be with each other and it's just not fair. So it leaves the people that are just trying it out for the first time getting beat over and over again and it's just not working. So then they end up quitting and then there's less people to do.
What about taking the
Thank you.
travel kids and splitting them up evenly?
The travel kids definitely need to be split up because I see it with basketball and soccer that all.
Oh,
travel
every
kids are on
sport.
the same league.
Yeah.
And
You got
it's-
10 travel kids and you got 5 teams.
That's
Each
how-
travel
that's
team gets 2 and you're still
Danny
traveling.
used to do that. Him and Conti would put all the good kids on there.
And I
yeah, I
understand
know.
that that's,
Yeah.
it is kind of like. That's how
where,
it's
like,
come to.
The city becomes the bad guy because that is, we're happy to be bad guys, like we have to be.
Correct.
And that would always
You
happen.
guys will be back, I don't know about it.
It'll be
Yeah,
the first
but
time, it won't be the
I
last
will, because I've seen it happen, like my dad ran CYO and we had the number, you know, and we had people calling and yelling like,
That's how.
you know, when people try to fix like, oh, I'll have a really great assistant coach has the best kid and the coach has the best kid and then the third assistant coach has the other best kid. Like, you know, people are gonna do that. So that's where the bylaws and that's where the city comes in and says like, well, the rules, no, and if you have a problem, you can call Rob and Rob can have Michelle tell him.
Every, I think,
Exactly.
I think just back to the coaching clinics, because we have such a great relationship with John. And they are always, the school, I mean, we can't ask for better people to work with at the school. Between him, the superintendent, and all the coaches. So using the example as the coaching courses. Like when I was running the Little League and my brother happened to be the varsity baseball coach, we did coaching clinics every year before we started the league. And we had my brother and obviously we had Amsterdam Mohawks. So, you know, we had kids from colleges and coaches from all over that came to our, you know, silly little clinic. And I know John's coaches would do the same for us without even, you know, having to ask.
Yeah.
If we asked them to give 2 hours of their evening or, you know, or a Saturday or something to provide guidance to the coaches in the league, that would be
Our softball team, our softball program did
no-brainer.
last year with the
Yeah.
youth program with Brian Mack.
And it was
I always
great.
think like a template for coaches, like what a practice looks like. Here's a bunch of like activities that work and
There's a lot
like,
of resources
I'm
out
gonna
there too
give
for that.
Dan a lot of credit, like my kid joined dance team and like the things that he does in practice are amazing. And he just like grew so much. And the previous coach he had, he wasn't that experienced. He didn't know he was trying his best. And I did it at basketball too, or like my team scored 3 points in a whole game. Like, and like, but with, if someone like Dan sits down and says, this is how I structure practice. This is a good practice looks like. Here's some activities we can share. Anybody can try to do that, you know, can come in and try to do that. And that could be really helpful.
Lucy actually did that this year with our 2 and 3, 4-year-olds.
What do you do with a 3-year-old?
Oh, but
Have a lot of fun.
Exactly.
That's the best part.
Someone
They
has
don't
to,
know,
like,
they just want to
help.
play,
Yeah.
so that's, we just make games up.
We made games up and then they had, what was that thing you had?
The hoops.
The hoops,
Yeah.
so they could learn how to kick through them. So it is a good thing. Back to her point though, with the coaches, I run into that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Springer open up, 80 million people want Tim Jones. 80 people want, you know, Monica or AJ. So you're going through all these names and by the time you're done, it's like, well, who do you pick? Because there's like 30 people that want, say, AJ. And on a team, you're only gonna have like 14 or 15.
Who's
So
requesting
I think
AJ?
those are things that we can help out with,
Anavich's baby.
where we put in.
Hannah Jones is.
Oh, I wonder.
You
He has them all.
You know, I think the best way to do it is,
That's right.
unless you're a sibling, and we'll write up everything as we go forward here. I think these are good points that I didn't think needed to be addressed, but I think they are
And
things
then I have
that,
parents that
maybe
don't
we
want
should-
their kids to.
you know, unless you're a sibling, like, again, I use my
That's
family as an example.
Thank you.
My brother and, my son and my brother's son, we live 2 houses away from each other, and they never played on the same team in any of the sports that we played.
When
And,
they,
and they were in the same grade,
when they go against each other.
right?
it's
But,
fun like that.
you know, and it's just, you know what I mean? Because if they're really good, you don't want 2 of the best kids on the same team. And I always thought the best thing about youth sports was go meet new kids and go meet new families.
Yes.
Because next year you're gonna be in the middle school, and if you played on 5 different teams, instead of playing with the same 6 kids, well, you met 40 kids on your first day that you go to middle school that you'll know. I think that's the most important thing and the best thing, instead of just, you know, insulating ourselves with the, you know, the same, oh my God, I'm with the same kids.
Right, well, and
Yeah,
also-
you do have a lot of parents that do come back and tell me the teams are stacked, you know, look at their record. But, and then my answer to them is, but they requested that. And then
Yeah,
if
no
I
more.
can't put somebody on that team that requested them, I
Well,
get
that
in trouble
helps
for that.
you.
Yeah, you can't, yeah, that's why we'll be the bad.
Yeah, and
The
other,
focus-
put it in your
It
bylaws.
should be just soccer.
Well, it should be on player development.
Right.
It should be on
Yeah.
You should
study reps, not on
You should
winning.
get your head coach and your assistant kids
That's
together,
how it
that's
should
it.
be, just learn. to
Other
learn.
than that, do you guys draft?
I wouldn't even say an assistant,
We have
because then
travel,
2
but
good
it's-
kids can be
No,
together.
you draft your teams, like,
Well, we tried it, it's just a giant hiccup.
The
So
last time
we'll
we-
work on all
because
that
that'll
stuff.
be better than
We
people
tried it 1 year.
requesting coaches.
They wanted
We
to
did-
draft
we-
teams,
I
by
wanted to draft,
all of them, and then
Yeah.
the other
What was the
coaches are like, no.
Parents, they
Too
didn't want
bad.
the coaches that they got.
Well, like, if you
That's-
change the
that's-
bylaws, then
that's
they.
life. That's part of the game.
Don't have any say in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, the draft is the fairest way to do it. So the other league will do, so, because you're right, you don't know every kid.
Right.
So there's a day you show up to the clinic, the coaches are all there, best they can, you look, all right, and then they rate, okay, this kid's a 1, this kid's a 2, and they may say, hey, you drafted a 1, you can't draft another 1 until every
Right.
team has
Has
a
the
1.
same
Right,
amount.
exactly.
And
I actually
yes,
went to
I'm with you, a draft is a giant headache, but it's the only fair way to do it, it's
I'm okay
worth.
with the
yeah.
headache.
I would
Because if
encourage
you
you
do
to,
a draft, then nobody can come back and yell at you.
correct, and you have that 1 day
And
clinic where people can come.
Your kid counts in the draft. So if you have a number 1 kid and you're the coach,
Mhm,
Yeah.
that's your first number 1.
mhm.
And that was a big rule that my dad instituted that people flipped out about.
Mhm.
They wanted their kid not to count for the draft.
Yeah.
So you got a
And
number
you
4
can turn it
kid, you got
around.
a number 1 kid,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And you can turn around if people have issues
My
and say
kid's
that
a
is
5.
it's from the Recreation Commission, and
My
this
kid
is
wants to be the
what,
manager.
they have put in place for us. These are new rules and regulations that we have to follow.
We'll put it all in
You
writing.
reiterate
Yeah.
what this
That's
is really
good.
about.
Right.
Okay, gotta remind people, it's not
I'm just
about
gonna tell
wins
you
and
about
losses
Rob.
at the end
Yeah,
of the year,
Rob,
or,
Rob was sent
you
me
know,
to the show.
winning by 100 runs, or, you know, 100 goals, or what are we doing?
So back to your, just, Tina, who's responsible for the coaching regarding a board position? Like who oversees, is it you that oversees the coaches?
Same people that
I just think it would be a really nice idea for youth leagues in general to have a baseline. So whoever's in charge of coordinating the coaches, depending on the youth level, there should be a baseline of, these are the skills that you want to attain as an 8-year-old, as a 10-year-old, as a 12-year-old. And now all the coaches understand, like, this is what we need to teach to.
But that
The
goes
baseline.
right back to what this gentleman just said about getting together with the coaches from the high school
Sure,
and saying, okay,
Trickle down.
this is what we want when we get here, so let's all get on the same
So
level.
you're gonna give
So
me
you
some coaches?
Going right back to what he just said.
sure. But it's still a really good idea to have, by the age of 6,
Well, I
we
have
should be
10.
putting our, like, for example, we should be putting our foot on the ball, on the top of the ball and trying to do some type of move. So if you guys could create that, I think that would really help
Okay.
every
I don't
coach.
think it's out there, a lot of it. You can Google it.
Yeah, it is. And that's another
That's
benefit
how
of
I do
being
basketball.
involved in, let's say, the US soccer
Like,
programs.
we do
They
have-
have these outlines for you.
Like the
For
U
free a
ten,
lot of
for the
times.
coaches, the free kicks, the penalty kicks, the handball guys. So
Exactly.
you know what is wrong, because you have parents that will, you should know, like, parents will come out there on the field and argue with you. Oh, my kid, no, your kid did it wrong.
Mhm.
And then I have like Sadie Brody, or the kids that come and they ref, the younger kids. It was a huge thing this fall where parents were screaming at the kids, telling them they didn't know what they were doing.
So,
soccer.
so
But they're modified kids, you know what I
let me just say this. We'll never write down every situation that's gonna come up to give you
Oh,
guidance.
God, I know that.
But you can always call us.
Just blame you.
You know, you can blame me, but you can always just call us and say, or, and I don't wanna speak for the chief, but I know what he
Yes,
would
no,
say.
Absolutely, you should
I've
call
called
us.
you before.
You have, yes.
We're to 1100.
And,
Right, there should never be a time where a parent is entering the playing field,
Yeah.
ever.
But like,
That's-
we've
that-
never had a
that's-
problem, to be honest with you, at soccer with anybody coming threatening anybody until I called you over the baby mama drama and you guys
Listen,
came.
Every league, whether they want to admit it or not, has had that problem at some point. Every single
So,
league has had
don't
that.
hestate to
Yes.
call
You are not the
us.
first.
Thank
to
God.
call APD and nip everything before it even takes place.
I do know that we're having, Adam Federley, he's gonna come and do a ref clinic for the
Right,
refs,
we should do that too.
like the ones that come from high school, because I take your kids, recall and, you know, Chase and them, they'll come. They are the only people that get paid. The younger kids get paid to ref. We pay them $15 a game because that's out of their time. For the bigger field, it's Chris M. He coaches wrestling and football, and Monica. They do the bigger field because there's different issues when you get to the 13 and 14-year-old. They don't get paid because they're already there.
But I say, while we're here, I just say 0 tolerance is the policy.
That's my policy,
Zero.
$0. And we have.
Not, don't be unreasonable and, you know, somebody says something, you're like, get out of here. No.
We have signs.
I put them by the bleachers. It tells you.
But I'm just saying, you know, following up is the key.
But that just gets me thinking about how much more loudly the message needs to be sent. You know, that youth sports is this, it's not what it's becoming or what people are accepting, you
It's
know,
for them
that
to
it's
need to
becoming.
learn.
It's not about the parents' experience. It's about the kids' experience.
I mean, look at that. And
I've been a part of so many conversations after the fact with adults who are just, I don't know, like I question their perspective and
everybody wants.
they
their
do it
kids
through the
to be
guise of I'm supporting my kids. It's like, well, your actions and your words would suggest otherwise because you're embarrassing your child. Or you're embarrassing other people here, you know, through your actions
They don't
and your
care.
decision
You're
making. And it's
embarrassing
just like,
children.
They don't care.
keep in, right, I know, but I guess that's my point is that maybe we have to approach how we talk about what this is for. Maybe we have to do it a little bit differently because we all have signs. I have them in the high school too. We have spectator guidelines. We read them before every high school game and inevitably I still throw somebody out. And it's always an adult. It's rarely a kid. It's,
How old are your refs? You said they're kids,
15,
right?
16, yeah, they're from.
So they,
Chase and them.
they probably don't feel they have the authority to take
Oh, no,
control.
they did really good. They
Okay.
have authority.
So if you have the parent, whoever said 0 tolerance, if you have a
Well,
parent
say
that
if
walks
I
on
went
the field,
then they come get
then-
me if they can't handle
no,
it.
they should throw them right out. Game's over. In my opinion, this is how I do it with baseball.
correct.
I stop the game, I kick out a parent. If you don't leave, game's over. You forfeit, your team forfeits, done.
There's no way.
They have to have that
Well,
authority.
that's the hard part. And that's what I always said, Dan, is I would never want to put a 15 or 16-year-old in that situation. to have to
Exactly,
make
well,
that
that's why I
decision.
asked.
But I
you.
also would say to the parent, what are you doing talking to a 15 or 16-year-old that way? That's
Yeah, well, yeah,
that's here to help your kid.
I tend to get an argument with that parent that's yelling at the teenager.
I don't know how many times I've asked the
I
question,
love throwing
what do you do?
people out.
What do you do?
Yeah,
What are you
It
doing?
really is.
Is there a code of conduct, like the high school and middle school one, should we use a universal code of conduct, like?
We have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Like-
have, I mean, there are NISBA guidelines that are
Yeah.
very, very clear. And when we kicked, I had to do this last year. I had a father who had to take the NFHS spectator course before he could come back.
There's a spectator court.
Love it.
Sure is.
Ours have parents and players.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
I
He
didn't
takes
know
a
that.
career course, it
Signs
generates a
on it, it tells
certificate.
you,
Now, I can't guarantee that he
do
sat in
this.
front of his computer
I
and watched
actually
it.
went and kicked out a coach.
All right,
But
when
yeah.
usually, once,
You have to leave.
once we
This
get,
was
let's say
trying
the
to push
police
it
have
as
to
a
intervene, which is fine.
requirement.
Once the first
Transfer
person
from a
gets
kid.
kicked out or they get the lecture, the rest of them fall in line.
Yeah.
That's normally how it goes.
Yeah, usually if you make an example of one person, everybody else
Exactly.
kind of falls in the line, but for that one event.
Mhm.
But then
But
you come back 2 nights later and then it.
You're gonna
Well,
have
if they
somebody
get kicked out,
else.
they shouldn't be allowed to
Just
have
keep
to miss a
calling us.
game.
So,
Oh, yeah,
just
no, I mean,
while,
every district has.
we have a policy now, and I think Chief implemented this,
We did.
where if somebody is at a city facility, whether it's Italia Fest, whether it's a soccer game, a Mohawks game, a concert at Riverlink Park, if you act up and you have to leave, what's the procedure? We rewrite a complaint?
Yes,
You?
we trespass them from all city property and we ban them from all future city events
For a year.
for a year.
And it doesn't matter
But
if
some
their
of them
kid
get
is playing in a championship game or, you
So
know,
say if they're,
their
for
nephew's
instance,
at the pool.
with Little League, with one of the Little League's parents got into a fight, that's when we started the no trespassing.
Yeah, 'cause like we do, your first one, you get, spoken to by a board member, the second one, you're out for like off the field. And then if we have to talk to you again, you're removed for the whole season.
Good.
Well, we
That's how
can,
I feel like then you just need to give that some teeth and really enforce
Yeah.
it. Maybe not letting that standard slide.
Maybe we
where
come up with a
Things in the
policy,
past you probably overlooked, well,
right?
you've
On
got
our
to
own.
draw a hard line.
Chief, maybe we come up with a policy for every league.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that's
sounds
good.
It's
pretty
hard
good.
in the soccer field because the parents are spread out. The
Yeah.
ref, I mean, you can have a ref in the corner and a parent just railing on them and nobody
no one
else has
notices.
any idea it's
Mhm.
happening. And then all of a sudden we're like, wait, is somebody
Which they should.
yelling at, is that girl crying? Like, I've seen that happen.
And we-
Like, the field's huge. Like,
And we
even
do
the small
address
ones.
parents too, because
Yeah.
we try to make the parents sit on the one
You
side,
do, yeah.
away from the players, because my thing is, if your father's over there, you know, Charlie, kick this way, you're not listening to Dan, your
Yeah.
coach.
No, it's not even about that, it's called when they go to high school, middle school, you can't sit behind the players.
And we do tell them that, you know, as you move up through the thing, you're not gonna sit behind your child.
You sit
And then
outside
the
the field.
parents, I'll sit there, you know, we get sworn at, you know, I'm not.
well, that was like
moving.
that.
They need to be removed.
Yeah, that's,
They need to be removed at that point.
That's
Game
what
will
the
not
police are
continue.
for.
that's, yeah, anything
And
like
we do
that, you
pretty
gotta,
much the
you gotta.
middle between our big and small field, we let them sit as long as you're not on top of the benches where the kids are. Because no kid's gonna listen to you, you know, if you're screaming at them, hey, Henry, you need to do this, and you got Tim telling them to do this, they're listening to their parent. They're not listening to the coach. So that was a
Yeah.
big thing that we
I would like
addressed.
though, maybe a bench parent, because I do feel bad sometimes, like my kid's playing tag with another kid and Dan's trying to coach and like they're stealing each other's water bottles and I'm like, I'd love to go over and sit there and just tell them, cut it out, but I feel like I shouldn't, you
That's
know, like
Yeah,
if that's
we can
something
do
for
volunteers
coaches,
for that.
like one parent that goes, like just keeps them in
I mean,
line.
I think once you get to a certain age, that's not really an issue anymore, but.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you could be.
I don't know, right?
Well,
Have you
hopefully
been
there's
part of
also an assistant coach too
Yeah,
that can
normally
aid
the
with
assistant
oversight.
But they don't, yeah. If
I
they
think
have
the
one.
thing with the parents coaching from the sidelines is just never gonna stop.
It's
I don't know how
understandable.
you
It's not-
police
we
that,
try
you
to
just have to
limit
make
some
sure
of
the
it.
kid listens to the coach. You know, I'm the coach, that's your parent, this is my time, or however. But I don't think there's any way to stop the police.
They'll come get me and I'll tell them, look, you know, you can't, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
Gets worse.
so.
So
It's never gonna, that'll never stop.
just so we're on the same page. This week, you're gonna give me,
I'm gonna give you the budget, your profit and loss, and I'll give you minutes.
no, what I was going for was the election. So
Yeah.
that stuff would be
I'll
great.
give you that too, how's
But you're
that?
gonna give me the positions that we're gonna hold elections
You're not-
for.
I can get it to you by Friday.
You're
tomorrow,
gonna-
I can't.
You're gonna get me the coaches who are eligible to vote in this upcoming election. In a date you would like to have us, I'd say give us at least 2 weeks so we can publicize it.
You give me the date, because I have so much
Okay.
going on, so if you give me the date,
How about
Yeah.
this? I'll send you an email tomorrow with
Please
what we're
do.
looking for.
that way I can say, okay, I can't do this on this date, because I have this here. It's just doctor-wise and things.
Is it only coaches, voting?
I gotta look through your bylaws, but I'm assuming that's what it is. But I would assume,
That's what the bylaws
a coach
say.
would,
Are we gonna rewrite this?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I mean, that's standard from other
You have
leagues
to
as
have a
well.
meeting and it's.
We have to redo the bylaws, I have to call everybody, then we can vote on it. and
Wouldn't you,
Then he's all.
do the elections?
What about the issue with smoking? That wasn't brought up.
What, I will honestly say, yes, I did smoke by my car, but I wasn't on top of the concession stand. That'll take the fall for it. When they're vaping in that near the field, my coaches You go right over and tell them to leave. If they don't listen, then I go tell them. Like we had a gentleman who was on the sidelines of a little kid on Route 10 who was there vaping weed. I had to go get AJ because he's looking at me saying I'm nobody, swearing. And then AJ kicked him off. When you tell the parents to go away, like you told me, there's no smoking at all in the park, right? So we will enforce that, and I will not be there doing that either. But you still have the people that come and they hold it like in their hand, and then they're, puffing on it. And when you see it, they're sticking it back in their pocket. I'm not vaping, but no, you were, because, we see you, my coaches see you.
And that's something that you have to enforce your code of conduct. You're a league official, you've
get
seen
that.
it, kick them out, remove it, and if they refuse to go, then you call the police, and if they refuse to go, we charge them with smoking and we arrest them for trespass.
I know Corey was at the field one day and he actually went over to somebody from, because he's like, Tina, if you got a problem, let me know, because he was walking around. And I'm like, Corey, they're over there vaping. And he nicely went over and said, you can't be here, you need to leave. If I come back, then I'm kicking you out.
Well, and now also there's signs as well, or there should
Yeah,
be
they're
signs
all-
about that's
Actually,
stating there is no smoking.
So is there no smoking at all in the whole?
No, it's actually a law.
It's a law.
It's a law.
Because that might even be something to just like put out there separately than just the signs, because I mean, I don't smoke, but I didn't know that. And I know that I used to work at a wedding venue and telling somebody not to smoke was like the biggest thing in the world. Like, so usually I would point them in the direction, like, you can smoke over there, but really they could smoke across the road.
I think that would probably be the only option, right? They
Just
can't
as
be
long
in
as they're
the
not
park.
near the fields.
Well, I
And
feel like
any
they
city
can't be able to
property.
park
Any
off, so
city
they would have to
property.
go
They have to go
totally
out of the
across
driveway, correct?
Yeah,
They gotta go
I
across the
think
street.
that's city property too, Tina, that
So just go to the
You
back.
have to go across the
Oh, they gotta go across the street.
you have
Yeah.
to leave the park
The other
premises,
side of the
parking
road.
lot,
Yes.
sidewalks, anything.
So that's at least you can be like, you can smoke, but you can't smoke here.
You
So
go off the property.
away, off the property, and then go smoke as much as you want. It just has to be enforced. People just don't wanna be the bad guy to tell people what not to do because they're afraid of the repercussions from those people, but that's where you guys come in.
So we're gonna write something up too that
Are you
says,
guys
deal with these
supposed to
situations.
be at any of the fields during like games and stuff like that? Or is it?
We've talked before, we spot check it when you
They
have
come
to.
in, they do come, they come and see.
Yeah.
I mean, I see there sometimes, but
Right.
I
I,
just didn't know if there was like protocol involved for that.
No, we don't have, it's not a committed detail to it based upon the shift that's working, but we
yeah,
make
but
sure.
you
that-
guys come like walk through a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, some
Like
of the officers.
early in the
have kids
morning, I
that
have
play.
you guys there, and then you guys will come back probably like around noonish. So there's somebody always there, like just walking around or riding the bikes.
Mhm.
So people do notice that there is police presence. The only thing that I have an issue with, maybe we could put out there also, is the porta potty use. We pay for it, the league itself, okay, which the city enjoys. But the city, the people are throwing the dog bags in there. It's
So
a thing.
You can lock them when you're not in use.
Okay.
That's not an issue. But we will be addressing that because we will have, new pool building up, hopefully in the very near future, and they will have public restrooms in that. So that should at least
I'm
help
just saying,
alleviate some.
somebody can put out there, please don't throw stuff in the porta potty.
You should lock it.
You should
Yeah, lock it up.
You should
And
lock
I
it.
feel bad
Just
because
lock it.
you
Just
got
lock it.
delivery people there blocking that little one old lady, she walks all the time. It's like, my bitch, she has to go to the bathroom. Okay, I'll lock
But there
Just
will
lock
be
it.
public restrooms.
Yeah.
in
it.
the
Yeah, but you
near
guys
future.
won't have them when rec starts though.
Not this year.
No, no.
But then I'll just lock them, that's fine.
Does anybody have anything else for soccer?
If not, yeah, I gotta go.
You're welcome to stay, but thank you
No,
for
I gotta
coming. And we will get you an email in the next day
Yes,
or
please
two.
email me, and I'll
outlining
have that stuff around to
everything
you
that
by
we-
Friday,
Okay,
the elections and all that. Or commissioner,
perfect. Thank you, everybody, for
I'll
coming.
call you and tell you, I'm
Thank
off.
Appreciate it.
We'll take the elevator.
Moving on.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Except for AJ.
Howard's at.
I do. I've been up.
Later, fellas.
Because we have so many choosers.
Okay, so we're gonna, there's one thing that I just wanted to address real quick is, I'm not sure, everybody was up for a 2-year term? I don't even recall. But I just wanted to mention, I know we haven't had a meeting in a while. If you think you can't make meetings regularly, just let us know so I can let the mayor's office know. That's all.
I'll have Tim give me.
Because we just want to make sure we have 4 people at every meeting so we can do things and discuss things that we need to address. So if you know you can't make it, or you know, it's getting harder to make it, just let us know. I'm not, like I said, I can't remember what the term was. Was it 2-year terms?
For this team,
Yeah.
I thought he had something long term.
Was it long
I thought it
term?
was like 7 or 8 years.
I thought so.
I think you're right, bro.
Yeah.
7 years?
I thought it was 7 years.
Yeah, it was a
That's
long
job
term.
security.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's quite the paycheck.
if there's an, I know. If there's an issue, going forward, just let us know so we can address it.
Yeah,
Summer
I've
seems-
swapped out for Jimmy, so I.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
even think to say that.
Summer seems to
So
be
that-
hard, that's all.
yeah, Mondays are.
That's what I was thinking, 2 years was
It's our turn.
common council maybe. But yeah, so,
7 years old.
It is, I think it was 6 or 7 years, maybe even 8.
so Alderwoman
Yeah, I
DeMars
remember seeing
is
that.
Take it then.
our liaison now. Are you?
And, yeah.
So it is
Us.
co?
Both of us.
Okay, so it's both of them
Yeah.
are the recreation liaisons. So, thank you for doing that this year. We appreciate it.
How did you do it?
I think, we have 2 very good people, especially with having kids involved in,
Don't need to kiss.
everything. You get to,
Oh, you like.
experience everything firsthand.
Here on the field.
So that, I think that's a
I had my
good
first
fit.
wrestling tournament yesterday. That was exciting.
Where?
Oh, the Pee Wee?
How'd you do?
Pee-wee's at the middle school. I did get in one argument.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I won. But I-
Where's that?
On the list.
Oh,
At
is
the
that
middle
high
school.
school?
It was a
Middle school?
Pee-wee one at the middle school.
How'd it go? All things considered. Okay.
They're always wild, aren't they?
It's up. I've never been to one. I have no idea. I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
We had the modified play day at the high school on Saturday. It was crazy.
Is that what we needed the barricades for?
Yes. Well, we're hosting sectionals, Class Bs on
Oh, are you?
Saturday, so.
Oh, wow.
Do you do that normally?
uh,
I was gonna say, I didn't think so.
No, first year,
Now, how did you put in for that?
no.
Alternate.
We're in a rotation.
Yeah.
They asked us
Oh.
last year, but for Class As, and we didn't have the seating capacity, so Class Bs, you don't need as much in the way of seating, so we have enough. I decided we would host, so we are.
Hopefully get some revenue out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Concession
we've been
sales.
hosting a lot of wrestling this year and last year, 4 or 5 tournaments each year, so, yeah. it's
Do you
a
have
lot.
mats at the high school and at the middle school, or do they have to get
Yeah,
transferred?
no, so our mats at the high school actually get delivered to us. They're stored off-site.
Okay,
So we
yeah.
bring them in for about a month and a half, keep them in the hallways, and then send them back when we're done. So,
But you're not bees in wrestling, right? You can't.
we
host-
are,
Oh, you are? You can host your own?
yep, we are
Cool.
bees. We were a part of a merger with Ronald McGriff, but that was dissolved earlier this year, so it knocked us down classification, so.
How far Amsterdam has fallen.
Oh,
You
wait.
guys used to be the top dogs, A school.
Well,
For
Me,
many
it's not.
years.
Well, it has more to do, well, we won the league this year. We've only
Good.
lost one dual
You're
meet all year.
undefeated,
With
right?
your enrollment, right?
Yeah, it's all enrollment based, and it's all based on the number of programs that are offered also in section 2, so they.
So so every sport is different then.
Every sport's different.
Sure.
So we have.
I was saying basketball is-
We have Bs, we have double As.
That's what,
Yeah.
basketball's double A.
Yep.
Baseball's triple A.
No, double A.
Baseball's double A too.
Double A.
Oh, triple A's.
Football's A.
Football's A. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so and it changes every year with bed numbers, so you never know.
So, just real quick with Michelle's handing out, we brought this before the council, last council meeting, and I'm a little behind that. We were gonna do it at the fall meetings, but like I said, we canceled a couple of them. We're just looking for discussion, quick permission, rubber stamp, but honestly, opinions. Last year, our revenue was, for all of our events and activities, our event was $96,000.
It's wonderful.
Sponsorships, registration fees, vendor fees, our expenses were 93,000. So we pretty much hit the nail on the head. That does not include anything to do with minor Michelle's salaries, APD attendance at events, or AFD attendance at events. We don't count that in our bottom line. We could not raise, so we just addressed the event, the cost of the event, the expenses associated with the event. And like I said, we took in 96 and we spent 93. And so our suggestion was to keep the rates exactly the same as they were last year. We did increase 2 years in a row, I do believe, slight increases. Our vendor participation, while it's not down, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for, is enthusiastically.
Yeah, they're not knocking down the door
It's
to be a
been in the
vendor.
past.
Yeah,
So our suggestion was just to keep the rates the same.
sure.
And I
And you
think
guys have a lot of participation year over year from the same vendors too, right?
the same vendors.
That's a
the same
testament in and of itself
sponsors.
that they want to come back.
Well,
Yeah.
and we've been sending out all of our, and if you guys see them on social media or anywhere, please share it wherever. But we've also been sending out to like 518 vendors, Capital District vendors, Utica Rome vendors. We have whole groups that we are now really starting to share. And I know for like Italian Fest, we want to kind of get more like Italian foods and stuff like that, for events like that. And like the Creek Fest, which will be in October, gear it towards like October food stuff, Oktoberfest.
You mean Rocktober?
Rocktoberfest. So that's, we're really trying to get it out to newer vendors as well too, as our returning vendors are always, we're grateful for.
So I know it's short notice, but does anybody have any thoughts on that, on the rates?
It's good.
What's the golden egg at the Halloween parade? Does somebody
So-
get
Oh,
a
it's a
golden
golden
egg?
ticket.
Golden ticket. Did I say golden egg?
It's a golden egg.
Oh,
You
you typed it. I probably said it. So,
I
so
golden
the
egg.
thought was, the
golden
Halloween
ticket.
parade, I think mostly everybody has been to the Halloween parade. I mean, if there's, how many thousands of people lining the street?
Gotta
And,
be the most popular event.
right, yeah,
amazing.
there's gotta be 10,000 people on the sides of the street.
The kids
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's, how many,
We have over 75 businesses and organizations and
And they
over
do,
100 floats.
yeah, 100 and something floats when you add fire trucks and police cars and,
It was an hour, someone recorded it.
yeah, it's a little over an hour. So the thought was, to make it more interesting, was, and I was thinking, like, Willy Wonka had the golden ticket. So we're trying to get a sponsor where we just said it today, actually, we're gonna go to somebody, I won't mention it, and ask them if they wanna be the sponsor of the golden ticket, where you take something, and I think this is where I was thinking egg, like an Easter egg, and put a ticket inside, you put candy in 100 eggs, and you put tickets in the other one, something stamped by us, signed by us, so it can't be copied. And you give out Apple iPods, and you give out the ticket for the Apple iPods, and you give out the
And
ticket
it's all
for
donated to us.
Xbox, and you get a ticket, small things.
We-
iPods are a thing of the past.
We-
Well, whatever.
Well, we,
I'm surprised I didn't say, I was gonna say cassette player, but,
we did do
Portable
this,
eight-track.
we did do this back in 2020 when we had our Halloween drive-through because of COVID and everything.
Right.
We came up with these golden tickets and we put, specific tickets in all different bags. And there was 2,000 bags that we gave away that day. And over, I think it was 30 or 50 kids got these golden tickets and they absolutely loved it. And then we had the kids come into City Hall and we took a picture with them and told them, shared what they wanted and everything. And it was a really great addition. So I think that's why we want
It's not bad, $500 for them.
So we were,
to sponsor.
Do you remember
Thinking about it.
when you were a kid, like at the parade, they would give out tickets to kids with the best costume? and then the kids who got tickets had to go down to the mall and like walk in a circle and get judged
I think I
again.
do.
Oh,
And
that's
people got
fun.
like the best costume thing, and I always wanted to get picked, and I never did. And my sister got picked, and my mom's like, "You got to give a ticket to both of them." And they were like, "No."
Oh my.
So she wouldn't let it. But anyway, so there used to be like this winner, and this girl Marcy used to win every year. She had the best. She had the best costumes.
That's
Her
awesome.
Aunt Bobby made them.
That's a good idea, though.
Yeah, but I kind of like the randomness
Yeah.
of it.
So that was it,
I'm
just to
gonna
add
check
some
that out.
excitement and,
Maybe I'll start judging these kids.
So with that said, the last thing, and I think it's a really important thing, is the field usage agreement. And everybody can take that, I know we emailed it to everybody, but
In the packet.
I think after tonight, we'd like to add some other things to that. Some notes that I made that we want to include. But it's just a starting point to coordinate with the leagues and have them, my oldest son is 34, and I've experienced firsthand 3 times that people have taken money, from whatever league it is. And, maybe this, where they're quarterly reporting, will do something to change that. I don't know if it will, but maybe, and hopefully it doesn't happen again,
But
but
we're supporting them,
but-
helping
right.
them, yeah.
be supportive.
Yeah, we've gotta be proactive rather than reactive to it. We gotta find a way to stymie it before it starts.
And I think like that was mentioned, and I hate to be the guy who says, well, that's the way it was always done. But, we've always left the leagues to handle themselves. If there's an issue, all right, yeah, call us, we'll work it out with you, we'll help you change something. But I think the proactive stance might be the better way to go. And, like Jesse said, actually tell them what to do, instead of,
I think they
just,
just don't know what to do. I think
Yeah.
that's part of the issue.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to.
And we'll
reinvent it
require
every
them
new
to-
board.
meet whatever, and we can work on this as a group. I'll write some notes up from tonight that I think this was a good starting point, and Dan is the one that mentioned this, that we should have this and why we wrote it up. But I think there's definitely some things we can add after just thinking a little bit more about it and having this discussion tonight.
Like, I think we could adopt the code of conduct.
Right, I think,
For all of the
Or the-
I do
yes.
The
think,
bare minimum.
Which should be signed at
Like,
registration.
that's the code of conduct is right
We
here,
should
and
handle
it's
the
what we
registration.
I think, yeah.
Well, and I think Jesse
Everyone
brought
goes
up
to
a
the
really
same
good
site.
point, and I know with my kids, Kelly, all of us here know, when we go to sign up our kids, it's like, oh God, what app am I using now to figure
It should
out?
be streamlined. I
Yeah,
was just saying the
if
same
all of them could be under one big umbrella, it would be easier for everyone. So I do agree with
But like
that.
what
But
we
if you're,
talked about today,
if you're
too,
affiliated
the whole
with
website
baseball,
needs a
you
overhaul.
can't, soccer
Find
can't go to
the-
the, you know what I mean? So
Well,
you do
Well,
one
yeah,
we would have-
site
It's
and
hard.
link
Yeah.
all the leagues under it, is that what you mean?
Well, I don't know, what registration?
So the blue sombrero that we use.
But that's not specific to baseball, correct? Or no?
Well, there's a convenience component because it is affiliated with Little League.
With Little League.
So
that
every
might-
time we have a register, it deposits in the Little League International system if you choose to pick an affiliate program. But that blue sombrero is really, I think, the best one to use, and you don't have to have an affiliation. There's a soccer ball or a basketball. I've been talking to John about trying to use that for Chase League
Is that the one that Brian uses too for softball?
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, it is really easy.
I'd love to see the city sponsor something like that. Like, we pay for Blue Sombrero or whatever it is, and everything, sign up for pool lessons and whatever it is, all is under that. And I can go sign up, and I could sign up this kid for that.
But
and
the
this kid
large
for
is and
that,
stuff in
and
July.
it's all there.
I
And
think
then
the
we can,
communication platforms though come down to, that's really hard, I think, to force on all the leagues. Like if someone's gonna use Team Reach or Team Snap or, we have 23 coaches in the league. It's hard to even get all of them on the same page, How many apps do we have on our phone? To me, it's kind of a
So
non-issue.
direct
Even-
everybody to the rec website
That
and
drives me
have all
crazy
those
that-
links underneath it.
So we do
Everybody
right now,
uses
we
Team
have
Reach
that right
except for
now.
these guys who use Sport Engine.
Yes,
Like,
it creates.
I gotta go to Sport
So
Engine,
I don't
everybody
think
else
it's
is
the
on
issue
that.
of the different platforms. I think it's that the leagues aren't using the same platforms. Yes, baseball's using one platform. Basketball is using multiple ways. Some teams are being reached by text message, some people are using the Team Reach app. It's different. So I think that if every league had a certain way that every coach is talking to the parents, that would be helpful. Because it's confusing as a parent, like what am I doing? Where am I going? Why I talk to this parent and they're doing it this way. This one, I'm waiting for a phone call. Like even if it wasn't every single league under the same app, if each league had an app.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we use predominantly Team Reach, and the great part about that, and I'm one of the administrators that gets added to every team. So anytime there's a post inside for girls basketball, I'm getting it. If it's bowling, I'm getting it, whatever the case may be. So there certainly is a tremendous amount of value to that, to know that you're going to be contacted regardless of what program is sending something out, especially if you're a parent on that program. The other thing I would mention is, we use, and a lot of other schools do, Arbiter registration for our registration. I don't know if they've
Does it
started Arbiter registration. So
ARBITE.
ARBITER. That's what we use right now for online sports registration every season. A lot of other schools are using it right now. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple platform. There's a means to communicate with parents through it directly. If you're a parent and you've registered your kids in the past, it's easy to go back in there. It saves all your information. You could just be
That's
like,
great.
oh, this year's gonna be soccer instead of swim and dive, whatever the case may be. So everything remains in that program. I know there are other programs that are now coming out and trying to be more one-stop shopping like Arbiter, because they do a number of things. It's officials, it's a lot of other things, but Final Forms is sort of the one that's coming to mind as one. They're coming into the forefront of it's one-stop shopping for everything. So I don't know to what degree they're working with city, programs. They might really be focusing on school-based athletics, but I would throw those out there as options, or at least at the very least, ones that we could be exploring. Because I agree. I think one-stop shopping is huge. It can be confusing if you don't have a place to go, and it's just like, wait a second, like, yes, I want my kid to play soccer, but I also want to play softball. Where do I find that? And it's if it's not readily available, I can understand the frustration.
Well, Mike, let me ask, because on the idea for the money, that's my transparency. So, because if you I'm all for forcing registration to be online, because therefore it can be transparent, it can be tracked. The pitfall you walk into is when I'm the league president, but these 50 people showed up and paid in cash, or someone gave me a check, or no, so-and-so already paid me. That's a problem, because then it's only one person who knows.
Mhm.
If it's online, so I go to Blue Sombrero, sign up my kid, they charge my card, and the league's account is linked to it, the money goes to the right,
Yeah, exactly. And
so there's a trail.
there's a trail,
So that way
there's a registry.
Even if somebody gave you money or cash, there should be still a trail going back to the
But then-
league because the kid is on the team.
But you're in a perfect world, but I'm not talking about the kid, I know the kid's gonna
Well,
play.
I'm just saying the
I'm
money
tracking-
should be.
And
I
It's
know.
a Saturday
I'd rather
afternoon
get-
and the bank is closed.
I'd
I'm
rather
granted,
I'd
oh,
rather
using
get
my
rid of
wallet
that
until
also.
next week.
You know what?
Get rid of that
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
You're gonna
So-
get those parents that are gonna be like, well, I don't have a credit card.
Years ago,
I hate using
Listen,
that.
Have a friend.
years
sign.
ago, I can
I
tell
agree
you,
with you, but you're gonna have.
I struggled with this
Very few and far.
because I felt terrible. I did not want to keep anybody from playing. And we just changed it with summer camp. And I mean, you want to talk about, and I think about today, how we do it today. So if I go back 5 years, 8 years, chaos, and I mean chaos. Did they pay for summer camp? Shell, somebody just said they dropped off a check downstairs. Well, the cashier's office got it. There's a receipt, but I don't know who the registration form is for. The vendor came in and okay. And then we kind of just slowly changed. You can come into the cashier's office and drop it off. You know what the best way? The simplest way, no worry, no hassle.
Online.
They pay online,
Done.
We
and
took
that's
one
it.
registration in all the
And-
2025 in cash. It was
And
incredible.
nobody
for people that don't wanna
You know,
sign.
we're
up
not missing
immediately.
anybody. Everybody still signs up.
So
And I
the
think
travel money comes in.
keeping
Someone
track
will
of
check.
money, I
Right.
mean,
It gives you that whole layer of security of it, and it really will nip any of the money issues in the, right there in the bud, because you will know, this is how many people signed up, this is who it came from.
And
It's in a
summer camp
spreadsheet
ran
for you.
so smoothly,
I mean,
right, so smoothly.
You didn't have
It was-
those horrible
Oh,
Fridays
God,
that you would
it's-
have
it's-
for
yeah.
summers.
Right.
again, it was my own fault because I was, like, I don't want to keep anybody from registering, you know what I mean?
Don't
And,
figure
and me
it
and
out,
her
yeah.
were like, oh
There's
God, I
prepaid
can't read what I
cards.
Well, when
wrote.
I'm-
What's this
when-
person's
yeah.
name? They called and they dropped it, you know.
Or the mom
And they
that
signed up a
forgot to
brother,
register the
you know,
Friday
a
before,
different
coming
name.
Monday crying, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
That's a good idea though, and maybe it's just my 2 cents, but to get every team in the city of Amsterdam on the same page, the same registry, what was that? Arbiter,
Arbiter,
Yeah.
okay?
Final Four.
The same app, so as a parent, I don't have to download 6 different talk to, my coach's apps.
So
And we kind of make it the gold standard.
here's where I was gonna end this tonight with. This was gonna be my, and I'm glad both of you are here. So to do all this, you know, it's
It has a
minimal,
resolution.
minimal money.
Yeah, it's
But
money,
if the
yeah.
city paid for an app for all the leagues,
Mhm.
if the city paid to train all the coaches to be CPR certified in AED, if the city paid for, the Arbiter Sports app, you know what I mean? I can't imagine what we're talking. But lastly, the one thing I was thinking about, we've talked about it, adding to the city budget is a part-time position, I mean, minimally part-time position, where we pay somebody, whether it's $2,000, $3,000, you know, depending on how, for the year, $4,000, where they go and they are the liaison between all the leagues. And they say, when's your vote coming? How can I help you? Your field is off. Somebody keeps smoking at the field. Okay, I can call the police. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that in depth, but I'm saying if we did all of those things, I think we would be in the forefront of communities of being
Well,
proactive,
and-
because I don't know that people do that.
Yeah.
Definitely the CPR and the AED, I think would be it's in the field usage here, and we're talking about leagues. We rely on our sponsors, we rely on revenue streams. We spend $3,000 on just devices. Look at some of these other programs that are really struggling with money, we were
Sure.
fortunate enough to have been able to do that. And we also trained 50 coaches at $35 a piece. Somebody had a friend, I think the rate is closer to $75 if you're just shopping online. But, just as far as the communication goes, I like the idea of the platforms and that I just think that everyone does need to realize that the direct source of information to the parents, the direct conduit of information is the coaches, right? So you have people that are good at communicating, you have people that are on top of things, and then no matter
You
what,
don't pay the instructor. So just a certificate is the $40.
yeah. But,
If we were to host something,
Yeah.
we have, because within the city itself, we have a vendor that we use, different
yeah,
departments.
we're due to get all of our stuff, recertified every 2 years, so that expense is coming. Gotta buy all the new pads, they've never been used, but once they hit 2 years, you
They
gotta.
expire, yeah.
So it's already on our list of things to do before September here, and it's gonna
You
be.
But I'm thinking about like
Right.
these platforms, like when I was in like the nonprofit world, like our little nonprofit couldn't afford a good platform, but like the big ones could afford a big like Cisco platform that takes all these different things. Like we can afford that, we get the money in, and then we say, all right, you have 100 registrations, go to baseball, 100 go to soccer. There can be a fee as part of that registration that goes to pay for that program too.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that we as a city should be investing in this. This is preventative of so many things and good for so many reasons why we should be using our money in this direction instead of other that should be a priority of ours. But there can also be a percentage that goes
Yeah.
towards paying for making these
That's
things
how that
self-sustaining.
blue sombrero works. It's like
Yeah.
$3 a registrant.
Right.
I would just be careful that we're not making more work for these volunteer programs. So
We want to take the work away.
any registration collected outside of blue sombrero for baseball needs to be manually input into a Little League data center.
Mhm.
So that's why we did away with in-person registrations. The waivers are built in. So if we're gonna move this to Arbiter, then I gotta print out a spreadsheet and I gotta type in every single name times 300 names and add them into the data center. So when I say about adding work,
Yeah, because you have to enter your names and.
for certain affiliate
But-
programs.
No, but don't you download it into a .csv and
Yeah,
then
and then you
upload
could
it
just upload it.
into the new system?
I got an
Just fix
IT guy
the-
who take care of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sometimes more
Yeah.
bureaucracy doesn't always work, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I will say, the good thing about Arbiter too, and hopefully, I don't wanna sell it and then have to come back next time and say, hey, guess what? It's only for school
Yeah.
districts. But
There's gotta be something out there.
But you can layer so many things inside of it. All of the waivers,
Yeah.
there are 30 things that parents and athletes have to sign off on before they get in, including making sure that they have a valid physical on file. So it is all encompassing. It's really great. And then we found that once parents utilize it once, it's pretty easy, to access the system and go exactly where they need to go. So 2 things. And Mike, I'm guessing you have Zolls, right? You bought Zoll AEDs? Or
You know what, I have no idea what they
I would just say this to anybody who's looking to kind of upgrade AEDs moving forward. So we've moved away from that in the district only because the batteries are ridiculously expensive. They take, at least we have the Zolls, the Zoll Pluses. It's a Duracell 123 battery. That's all they take. If you put an Energizer 123 in, they explode. True story. So they're really expensive. The pads are really expensive to replace every 2 years. $200 for the adult pads, $100 for the ped pads. So we've moved into Vibes, and they are rechargeable, and they last 8 months on a single charge. We have them in the overwhelming majority of buildings in our district. We have a ton of mobile units that we use for athletics. You pay a subscription for each unit, but that comes with the pads, and they will basically replace them for you when they are out of date. So you pay a subscription. We are going over to them for the entire district over the next several months. So I would just say for anybody who's looking to get AEDs for their respective programs, to look at that as an option. That's number one. Number two, the whole idea of a code of conduct meeting general expectations. I mean, that's something that I would do because you never know how many new people you're going to have in any respective rec program each year, right? That is something I would do every single year. I do it every single season with coaches because I know I'm going to have turnover. And unfortunately, some of my older, like Tim Jonesy's heard my spiel a dozen times already by virtue of coaching 3 seasons. So he gets it from me all the time. I have a lot of other coaches who have heard it 100 times, but I continue to sound the same horn and remind them of expectations for, code of conduct for coaches and for athletes. And that's something that's really important for new coaches to hear because they walk in completely unaware of some of the things. They just think, oh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to coach kids. But there's so much more to being a coach than just being out there in the field with the kids and, taking them through exercises and drills. There's a lot they don't think about. So I think it's important that they hear that every year.
You make them sign something?
I have them sign in and they basically, and I have had them sign off on, I acknowledge this, absolutely. So-
We had to do it for our center.
Yep.
And, for the board, so we have something typed up. When they come on board, they sign it.
Yep.
And then it's in the file.
Yep, and they all get it after each presentation is done. I record them all and I send it to all of the coaches.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, especially for younger coaches, it's important for them to hear it and see it.
I'm thinking of the AED things. I don't know much about it, but why, so a lot of the leagues are purchasing these on their own. Why can't it be something that all of the recreation department, all of the recreational sports are sharing since the seasons are different?
Well, like they bought their own.
Well, they bought their own, but going forward with everybody needs all of these new ones, wouldn't it be beneficial if each league contributed a certain amount and then they share the appliance?
I think they do.
Do they?
Soccer and football are at the same time, so there's fall baseball too. So all 3 are actually playing at the same time.
Okay, I was just thinking of that.
So not to change gears, but John, I did look, Arbiter is not just for schools. It's for youth organizations, all kinds of stuff, so.
So I'll do some.
And having used it as an umpire, fabulous website.
I can look into, if you want, I can look into some pricing
Yeah, definitely.
and,
Are you able to go on that website, not to interrupt, but go on that website and see the different things that are available within the city, for example? I think of certain parents, maybe barriers to social media, maybe they're not aware of everything that the city has to offer. Are they able to go on Arbiter and see, oh, wow, the city's got a swim program, or it's got a this, or it's got a that? Is that an option within that website?
Inside of art, I'm not sure if that,
Because that would be
I don't
nice.
see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, that would be nice if we could all get everything in one
What do you mean,
place.
like the winter swim stuff? Or-
Sure, like everything that you guys do. I mean, as a parent, you could just then play with it and say, wow, look at this. Look at everything the city is offering.
It probably does,
That's-
because like I think about that one that you guys have, like with Violet and like Oliver for swim class, like it kind of shows like what, everything for his age that's available at the time,
Mhm.
and I can
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah, so I mean, ours come
Yeah.
out seasonally.
Yeah.
And you see every single option.
Sure.
So I don't know why you couldn't
That would
put
be
something
cool.
in there related to a rec program, a rec offering, as well as
Okay,
travel.
that's, I'm just saying, if we did that,
But
you
even
would
if-
register for learn to swim classes the same way you would sign up for.
Ease of use, low barrier to entry,
Right.
and it's
If
just.
they don't, you just
streamlined.
directly
You
go
could-
to the rec website, and then on there is your link to Arbiter. If not, I don't know if they do
But
it.
like someone like Mike that's coaching baseball and basketball, we're not paying for 2 background checks for him. It's one per year, you know, when he coaches basketball, that same, he's already been checked off.
And a lot of the coaches are the same.
Yeah.
People that are volunteering are the same.
They're the same parents, right? So is everyone pay, you know, why pay $90 when you can pay $45? It's good
And the
for a
coaches
year.
are attached to that platform. They are assigned. So somebody has to be the administrator of that program. In our district, it's Carla and myself. And so we assign the coaches. They get an email and then they have access to every
To their
individual who is
people.
registered for that respective school. Which, again, it also, every time there's a registration, we have the parents' contact information as well. So we can blast through Arbiter very easily to contact everybody.
Is there like secondary roles that you could offer, like the leagues are gonna wanna have access to the registration data as it comes in? You know, we send email blasts all the time promoting golf tournaments, barbecue fundraiser, oh, today's opening day has been postponed. So we gotta make sure that we can also communicate.
As soon as you put a coach on that particular program, that coach, or you can put multiple coaches, it doesn't just have to be one individual. You could put a league coordinator on that particular program and send blasts theoretically to everybody who's associated with it.
Yeah, because usually there's like different levels of someone who has all the access, some people who
Yep.
just have newsletter, some people have
What-
API,
I wonder,
API.
so like if you signed up for like say we did it and and everybody was under Arbiter Sports, baseball, soccer, football, basketball. They go in, they sign up, they pay. I wonder if baseball would have their own account, you know, that the money gets deposited, and could it be different than, you know, could everybody have their own bank account on there where the money gets
I think
deposited?
you can, because there is a screen where you dictate exactly, you know, the registration fee, obviously with schools.
Right,
It's
right.
zero always,
Right, but that is
but
on
you
there.
can, but there's definitely a page on which you determine that
Mhm.
pricing structure, so.
Yeah.
I
Plus
think
then
all
it's-
questions I can ask.
Then it's transparent for the city if we want to go in and say, hey, how many people signed up for soccer this year? And then we can get maybe an overlook to, you know, the growth.
All you do is hover over the program and
That's
it'll
it.
tell you
You
the
see
number of
the budget,
registrants
yeah.
that we have. It's easy.
Like you might be able to use it too for like your summer programs that my daughter.
Well, we would, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what, yeah.
Like that could fit up
Summer
to
camp.
And then now as a
Everything,
parent, when
everything,
you're
all
in
our
a city,
vendor
you know
stuff.
everything that's going on inside of the city,
Yeah.
A to Z.
Just gonna pull it up really
So you can see, yeah, you would see, oh my
Yeah, put
God,
that in the chat.
I'm signing up for Learn to Swim. I didn't know they had
Sure,
Italia Fest coming up next week.
exactly.
Even like, for example, like, I know that there was like golf things that were going on, and I didn't see it anywhere other than the fact that we talked to Tim Jones about it. And like, just little things like that are nice to know, and if there's somewhere that information is other than Facebook, because not everybody's on Facebook, so that's where
Sure.
it brings in, like, we just need something else that's out there that people can look at and get the information from.
And you folks being like, you know, the ultimate administrators, in theory, can blast to every single name in the database the events that the rec department has coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so stuff like the golf isn't
Like
overlooked.
these meetings.
I wonder if the contacts would be transferable, like our body of like 600 recipients.
Sure, 100, I guarantee you, CSV, like Kelly said, and then you just have to fix the field names maybe to make them align, and then send it.
Oh, I love Dave.
Chief's got an idea.
Sure,
That's what I'm saying.
Marvin's the man. Marvin can do it all.
Yeah, he is.
He's rebuilding entire public safety IT.
He's special, man. He really is.
Do you think the council, like, I mean, like I said, we could, there might be a registration fee involved or something like that. But I think we're talking about a minimal amount of money.
Mhm.
Like, because.
It's an investment.
Like,
I think what she
instead
said
of
is
everybody,
perfect. It
like you
is.
said, every coach, doing a background check for every single coach, when it's the same,
Coaches.
50 coaches who are coaching everything,
Right.
you're hitting them all
Or
once
we
instead of
have an
3 times.
account with Infinity Med, like, we could do AED trainings, and like, does that mean like we get a better rate? I don't know,
Right.
and yeah, we can pass that on to the leagues if we need to, or things like that.
Well, and you're concerned about the
Director
league
too,
doing
so
more
game
work,
should
that's why we
be-
wanna hire the
Yeah,
part-time
right.
person to take that amount of work away
We'll
from
have
you
Carla
guys.
train for
And
free.
Carla,
So we just have her do it for free. We'll give her like a free mohawk.
That's a no-brainer.
I see a headache there, it's one of those things where it sounds nice when you discuss it, but I just think it's getting a little bureaucratic, we have a system that's working very well. We reach all of our people, nobody's waiting around for their coaches to
So
contact.
you don't want government getting in the way.
So
but what happens when you leave?
What is your board like? Like, how many board members are there? Is
There's
that something-
15 of us total.
Is that something that you could share? The soccer people have no clue what to do, so they need to know, like,
Yeah,
what.
and I think that's where this commission is heading, right? And we're, I wish that we could accomplish more in less time, but I think that we're going in the right direction. And, I think that Tina and AJ have kept the league afloat and.
No, I'm just saying going forward, if everyone's trying to get more organized.
Yeah,
They said it themselves today that they need guidance on what to
absolutely.
do, and
Yeah.
they're looking for it. So while they're open to it, I feel like if baseball is working, then
Yeah.
maybe you should share with them what you're
I'm-
doing.
Absolutely. Tina can call me anytime,
Well, she did say she did call you.
Yeah, you never called her back.
Texted her back.
She was calling me about background checks.
Yeah,
What
But
she
see,
needs
that's
to,
where it's hard.
those affiliate programs
Correct.
pay for ours.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they.
So it was an intricate question and I really didn't have an answer for her at the time,
It's tough when you don't have like a dedicated space to talk about these things. Like,
And,
that's why it exists, because like, you're doing 100 things, she's doing 100 things, when do you connect? It's tough.
I did look it up when she was asking about it. CDYSL does do background checks. So
Okay.
they utilize a platform that,
That could use it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
being
the option-
affiliated and using the resources they offer are two different things.
That's well said.
They got,
I thought it would be a good idea possibly to get all of the presidents of each committee together so they could discuss what's working for them and what's not working for them for each league.
Will you host that at your house one night?
Not at my house. My house is loud. I will do it here though.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
I just think that Amsterdam is a community. We all need to work together to help each other get more successful in this recreation department, is what I think. And just being like the outside person, looking in, living it with my own kids, like I just wish it was more unified where everything was kind of working together and successful, which it sounds like you guys are working on that. But it also feels sometimes like the public isn't aware of what's going on. So you guys say there's like a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Maybe that would be something that should be said so people know, like football coming soon, instead of just no program. Because right now people feel like there's no program at all.
And then they don't know where to bring their kids.
And they don't know that
Or
it's
what, yeah.
coming, so then they're complaining and then,
Well, then you have the opportunity of missing them going somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's happening, definitely.
What do you think, Jen?
To which part of the question?
Arbiter, you were looking up arbiter.
Oh, I have it up. I just didn't know if you were talking about that in terms of trying to convey to people that things are being done, without necessarily, I guess my only concern about doing that is I don't want to make promises that we can't keep
Yeah.
given the timeline. And I also know that sometimes people are asking for a timeline, and if we can't give it to them, they might lose faith in something actually being done. So I know that being quiet doesn't accomplish much, but I also know that saying something before we're really prepared to say something without the confidence that it's actually going to happen, the time we think it's going to happen can have the same effect. So that's why I'm always cautious to offer something if I can't confirm it. But I know we spoke.
Mhm.
I am confident in certain things happening.
Yeah.
I will say that. yes, I have Arbiter up if you want to take a look at it. I don't know if that's.
No, I thought you were looking for something specific. So it's,
I just would love to see us take away the obstacles to coaching and enjoying and developing student athletes, our youth athletes. And so whatever that is, that's the obstacle for these leagues that make it just hard to be a volunteer, hard to like, sometimes it's like, I would love to help out, but like it's so far gone that like we'd have to start from scratch. I don't have start from scratch time, but I have social media time, or I have that time. So what can we take from these leagues that is weighing down and stressing out the volunteers, that make it the same people volunteering all the time because they're just the ones that are gonna suck it up and do it. And so that the coaches can coach and the league people who love that sport can pass that love on, and we can deal with the administrative stuff. I feel like that's the role bureaucracy and government can have.
I think that would be huge.
Is like, you can teach them how to love the game and I can do the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wanna, like, I love government side of it. You love the sports side of it. Let's, work together in that respect.
Well, I
That's
think like
how I envision
for
it.
Jesse's question, most leagues, you start president, VP, treasurer, secretary. You need those core four, pretty much. Maintaining your lane, like the problems that we've had, I'm the president, and don't worry, I do the treasurer stuff too. Massive red flag.
Yeah.
Theft. That screams to my world, not me as a parent, I'm not here as a parent, I'm here as a policeman. That screams theft. When someone's like, oh, you can be the VP, but don't worry, you don't have to do anything, something fishy's happening.
Yeah.
You start with, like Mike said, at one point, I'm sure baseball was probably just those four. But then those four people had it, they know it, they're doing it down cold. So that's when you branch out to like social media specialists, registrar specialists. That's how you get to 15 different people, because that core 4, 5, 6 positions are strong, and then people can write. I don't have time, I can't do registration, but I'll run the concession stand when I'm there, or I know how to do that. So those are the steps. First, those core 4, and then you open up from there.
So would it be 4 though, or would it be 5?
It should be
I start,
5, yeah.
I would start with just hoping.
But for votes, she's saying.
Oh, yeah.
Your business is your purchasing agent.
Right.
That's the one you're missing.
All right,
Sure.
there you go.
So I don't even know if Tina knows that, like those 5 people are.
that's why I said, I'm gonna send
Well,
her.
I'll tell
I
you
think that
too,
Phil would
like-
get a lot from that email.
She needs to know to have meetings as well, and I think
Yeah.
maybe we conveyed that
Well, that's what
tonight.
we're gonna.
I've been on the
I-
board for 2 years, we haven't had one meeting.
She provided, when we met months ago, she provided the
That
roles
there's
they
no
have. It's in the sheet that I don't know if you were
Surprising,
there. but They laid out like 6 or 7 positions in what she provided the first time we ever met. Yeah,
Yes.
so these, there. you go. See,
But it's
Dan-
amazing
Dan,
how, like,
these-
quickly time goes.
Come on, man.
Like that 2 years passed really fast for Tina, because it was like, well, I can call a meeting, or I gotta open registration, oh, I gotta find reps, I gotta do this, and like,
Sure.
calling that meeting doesn't happen,
She also isn't super open
It's
to giving a
private.
lot of help either though, so I think it's just if it's a core group of people that are helping, I think that's just what's needed, not just everything laying on one person. But that's also because she hasn't submitted anything, so it just,
But I think that's why
yeah.
we're all on the same page of setting guidelines.
And all
We
the
don't wanna
leagues.
tell people what to do, but these are the guidelines, this is what we expect.
Right.
This is what we need to be done. We're here to help. Not that we're not flexible, somebody's got a better idea, yeah, of course.
Mike's just going to have to accept the help.
I got a couple of
Right,
things.
so just
You guys in your government.
Ted, you run a really
Just
good
some
program,
questions.
man, that's the only thing not everyone else does.
So,
Yeah, so we could add
A
this.
couple of things have been brought up tonight, I just got a couple of questions on
We used to get schedules handwritten, printed.
Yeah,
youth basketball.
those days.
Yeah.
Who runs that?
Well,
Where is that being held? Do they come before us and
no, they don't use any city facility, any
where do they play basketball?
at the school.
Isn't that a city-owned, taxpayer-funded?
Yeah, but not, so anything.
I'm just, cause who's overseeing that
Well, no
program?
I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, the people who run it. And so I think there's changes coming with that in the future possibly. So, yeah, so for years, we never had anything to do with soccer because they played at the high school.
Well, I'm just wondering,
So they play
again,
on-
you see youth
They play
sports.
on a city-owned
So
facility.
really, there's nobody overseeing whoever is running that league. right now, looking at financials, code of conduct, bylaws.
No, like I said, we have no authority over them. Now,
Being that it's a youth organization in Amsterdam,
yeah, but
They don't use city property.
Yeah, it's
they're
all
for
about
city
what
stuff.
property.
But could we
That's
partner
where-
with the school district to make this?
Can ask the same question 5 times, same answer. They don't use city property.
so they don't use our property, but I think, John Sumter took that over a few years ago. And I have not spoken with him, but I think there's gonna be some changes next year where we'll deal with everything that you're talking about.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just your youth, leagues, whatever. Don't
So
know
we-
who's overseeing
so-
that. They said,
so
basketball does it this
The only
way.
reason we have oversight of a league is because they use city property.
Gotcha. Well,
So,
then would it be up to the school to be overseeing
We don't have-
that
we
league
don't
and
have
how the funds
resources.
are being?
We don't
And I'm
have
not
the
saying
resources
anything's
to
going wrong,
oversee.
but, it's the
Well, no,
Amsterdam
because
Youth League.
but the school district is generous enough to allow, whether it's the basketball league or I can only imagine how many requests for time that they get from
Oh,
all the
sure.
leagues. So their role isn't oversight. Their
Not just in
role
Amsterdam.
is, you can graciously use our facility.
Is basketball sponsored by the city?
No.
All right, so there's your,
So it's a
there's your
complete-
answer anyway.
Well, they do use vets for the summer league.
No, not anymore.
They weren't there at all?
They use our school. They use our
Lynch now?
our outdoor courts at Lynch.
Okay.
Yep, so.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying anything's going wrong. It's just one other big, huge
Right.
group.
That's why we haven't really mentioned it.
Gotcha.
Can I cut in? But
Absolutely.
I think it does beg the question, should we start having conversations about them? Because should it be about more than just the space they're utilizing? Should it be more about
Well, we can't. We don't have
everything
any
that we're
authority
talking
over.
about? Right.
Well, is it
To Rob's
kids in
point, we don't have
Amsterdam?
any authority over them.
But it
So-
wasn't-
youth
But the school
program?
district could require them to report to us,
Not
to
really.
use their facilities.
If they wanna
They can't
use
use
their
their
own-
facilities.
That's up to them.
Right, but if
That's
they
up to the
want
school
to, but I'm
district.
just saying like this is
But I
how
think
we could talk about.
So I'm just
But I guess we
thinking,
come at it more from the perspective of how can we create better programs in the city? Not through, not like, hey, I'm not going to give you gyms if you don't comply. More like, what can we do to work together to
So-
create the best possible programs for our kids?
Can we
And I
get,
think
can
we
get
can do that.
basketball back
We-
up to the city
we've
of Butler?
we've talked about a plan for next year, and I think taking into account exactly what you just said is kind of what we talked about. No matter what it comes under next year, whether it stays the same leadership, or it changes slightly, me and Mike have had a few conversations about, okay, how can we just come at this in a way that we're all just cooperating to make it better for everybody involved? Without forcing oversight on them, because we really don't have the ability to say, you can't use our fields unless you show us your budget, show us your bylaws, et cetera.
You guys ran the league though, not to bring up historical events.
Yeah, we
Weren't we using
Yeah.
like Curie and
Yeah.
Bacon and?
Right.
So when that transfer, it was just like, okay, the city's just
Yeah.
not
But
involved.
just think if I'll use the Amsterdam Mohawks, they use Shuttleworth Park, but they have a lease, they have a lease, they're a business. So we can't go and tell them, hey, we need you to make sure everybody on the team is playing the same amount of
That's
innings.
that's done through the council with a police. Now,
You know
let me
what I
ask you,
mean?
let me ask you
Right.
another
So
question based
I'm
off
saying
that.
There's a spot where we have, authority because the Little League wants to use Isabel's. So if Mike goes and says, listen, we're not, we don't care what you say. We're not handing in a budget. You can't look at our books. And kids can sit there all year and never play an inning. Well, we have something he wants, so to speak, he wants to use the field. Well, Mike, geez, the city's interest is teaching sportsmanship, fair play, develop athletes to the best of their ability. We think you should run the league this way. Let's talk about this. But if person X wants to run a basketball league and he goes to the school and says, hey, I need every Saturday from 9 to noon. What do,
Like CYO, St. Mary's, totally private
right,
organization.
right, there's the example.
What about the Titans and using,
Well, again,
do they have
a
a contract
yes,
at least
Yeah, yeah. So
with the
same
city
thing.
assigned lease that
So-
says, hey,
Right.
this is what our thing
They
is?
pay for that time.
Okay.
You wanna
They-
see
they
that,
pay
you
for
wanna
it.
see that, Lisa, and add comments too.
Whoa, I got AU Friday nights, kid.
And then just the last thing I have to say is, the last time we met was what, about 6 months ago?
Maybe, I don't know.
The last thing we talked about was Little Giants. There were supposed to be things moving forward, kind of got brought to a halt. We haven't met since then. Since then, there is no plan of attack, I've heard little rumblings, but nothing too much. We're looking at right now possibly going into a second season, unfortunately, with no youth football.
I don't think that's gonna be the case. I can't, I'm speculating as well. I don't know if you've heard anything.
Is there any updates on anything moving forward with young kids being able to play football here in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I mean.
Other than
And I
going
only
to
ask you
Gloversville
because
like
of
your
proximity.
son
That's right.
and winning the championship.
Undefeated champs.
We want him here. I'm being serious. Is there
Yeah,
a
no,
plan of?
listen, I haven't had a conversation on this subject in the last month and a half, but, I'm still optimistic. I mean, like, I can't even go beyond that because I don't wanna put the cart before the horse, but I'm still optimistic, largely based on the individual who's
Right.
But who do
driving
we
it.
send people to talk to about this? Because.
I don't know that you
I
can
get-
send
I hear
anybody
from
that's
parents
the thing
all
is,
the
I don't know that you can.
So is this just revolving around one person's decision to do something, have the funds to do it, a place to do it?
I think
And
a
if
lot
that falls apart, there is no other.
Well, listen, anybody, again, it's the same scenario. If you wanted to start a youth football league tomorrow and request space,
Cost is.
a little, the bar.
Well, again, just the last meeting we attended, we were supposed to be moving forward with
Well, I think
a public
things have
hearing.
moved forward.
What we're supposed to be moving forward with a
But
public
listen, here's
hearing,
what I'll do. I will get an update and I will
email
email everybody.
But we didn't
who's
have.
here.
Tried
a
to do
public
that,
hearing.
and then
Yeah.
everything kind of, I just look at it as, I love Little Giants
So
football,
I
as
can-
everybody did.
I can
And,
give
and
you,
it's a lot of people in the back of their head being like, man, how did we ever lose that? And now we don't have a Little Giants program. Like that's a very big thing that this rec commission should be thinking. We don't have a little football league program when we used to have the best. And now we have parents going to Gloversville and playing out there. That's my only concern, so.
so I think it's in the works still. I think my timetable, the last update I received was right before Christmas. So probably 6 weeks ago or so. And everything was still progressing and moving in the right direction. I can give you an update that I didn't even think to give. But the building, we can go in and clean it out, and I don't think there's much in there of use, but we spoke to Chief about that and about just waiting for the weather to break basically and documenting, right? Is that what we're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
do?
take a look, take an inventory, what's there, what's usable, what's not. And then we did speak to the remnants of Little Giants. They do have some equipment that's there, and how we're gonna, make sure that that's fairly and transparently either, turned over to who might start the league or maybe, gone to the city, things like that.
Is there an update we can get?
I'll
public
I'll
update
check,
first for
and we'll
parents
get an
to
email
say,
out to everybody.
This is the plan that's.
Well, I can't, I don't know if I would do that. Like,
Realistically, what do you think a realistic timeline would be if the city was interested in offering summer flag football?
Well, let me make that phone call and then we'll go from there.
We'd have
Because
to have
flag
it
football, we just talked about this today too, is July, I think, is flag football.
So you want to open registration in April and have a bank account and a 501(c) so that's barreling down on us.
Very
Oh, it's coming quick.
And I
Sure,
I
it'll
trust
be a 501
Mr.
open, no?
Well, not if it's an entirely different group, they might, not.
I think all that is done.
If it's not gonna operate under that name, I don't know, it's really
Yeah,
hard.
the direction we're going is a total new rebranding, new everything.
There's a lot of upfront work there to get that
But I
So
think
maybe
they've
we should
started that.
offer just help to that
But it feels like
individual, like
that's
how can
secret.
we get this?
Well, yeah, like, is there like a thing
I
where
said,
it
let
can't be
me-
said?
Let me call him
Right.
tomorrow and we'll.
Like what's going on so we can get an update and help and
Or if we're gonna focus on just starting with tackle in the fall, maybe that's.
Well, again, I don't think it's my place or our place to speak for them. I mean, I think everybody knows the idea was bandied about, and working with the school and trying to incorporate the football program at the school. So like I said, let me reach out to them and maybe we'll have an update in our inbox tomorrow.
cool.
Does anybody have anything else? I know it was long, but I think it was a really good meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, my second.
Still moving.
My third.
I'll make we'll set up a meeting for tomorrow with him.
Okay. Yeah, do you want us to come up?
Ringers.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
That'd be great.
This is there, I don't know, two coaches. You're probably right.
Yeah, we can come anytime.